Hey, what's up, everybody? So yeah, quick DVD review of PWG Steen Wolf. A lot of anticipation for this show, as some of you guys might remember. When we saw Super Dragon return after the show was over, you heard the crowd chant "Show of the Year, Show of the Year," which is saying a lot considering PWG's had a spectacular year. I think everyone pretty much agrees from a consistency standpoint, and for delivering great wrestling cards from top to bottom. I would say PWG best promotion of the year. So. The show had a lot to live up to. So, but it definitely exceeded expectations, in my opinion. I would say, without a doubt, PWG's best show of the year, better than DDT4, better than All Star Weekend. Yeah, the show was that good, and probably the best indie show of the year. So definitely rush out of your way to see this as soon as possible. I think I'll give the show about a 9.5. So yeah, let's go through this really quickly. We have Peter Avalon, Freddy Bravo, and Ray Rosas taking on Famous B, Chris Cadillac, and Candice LeRae. So, you get to see a lot of fresh faces here. I'm sure a lot of these guys probably work for some of the, lesser-known indie companies out of California. So it was cool to see a lot of these guys. I don't really know a lot of them, but definitely fun, kind of like a spot fest. You got to see Candice LeRae do her ball busters. So, yeah, just pretty sweet action. Not for everybody though. There's gonna be people that hate it, and this is pretty much a match for the live crowd. The live experience is what it's all about for this match. All right, so move on to T.J. Perkins versus Rocky Romero. Kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna knock the storytelling and knock the psychology because it was there. It just didn't captivate me. It just didn't really hold my interest. You just expected a lot more from these two guys. They definitely have great martial arts backgrounds, and they could definitely go on the mat. It's just T.J. Perkins, Rocky Romero, kind of an all-star caliber matchup. Didn't really come off like that, so I'll probably give it 2 3/4. Next up, we have the Rockness Monsters taking on the Fighting Taylor Boys. Yeah, so you get the two PWG homegrown tag teams going at it. The Rockness Monsters have had a good year. They've had a lot of fun matches. The Taylor Boys, they're kind of hit and miss, especially Ryan Taylor. He's really disappointed me over the year, but I have to say that this was a lot of fun. You definitely had. Kind of like a spot fest, but just really fun action, tons of near falls. The Rockness Monsters, just another fun match from them. A hot finish, 3.5 stars, just a lot better than I expected. Just didn't expect it to be that good. Next up, you had Davey Richards versus Willie Mack, and yeah, the interesting story about this is Willie Mack. And Davey actually talked about this after the match. That Willie Mack used to come to the PWG shows back in the old days and used to be a fan. And Davey actually remembered him from back in the day. So and he said one of the toughest things to do is to earn the respect of someone that actually used to come to the shows. So yeah, as you would expect, extremely stiff, hard-hitting action. Davey kicked Willie Mack in the face several times. You had Willie doing a whole bunch of no-selling, great facial expressions, just really. I wouldn't say it was better than I thought it would be, but pretty much just as good as I thought it would be. Yeah, pretty much exactly what you would expect. Willie Mack definitely got to get his ass over to the East Coast, and hopefully we'll see him in Ring of Honor in 2012. So yeah, just 4-star match, great stuff. Next up, you had Los Luchas versus the Dynasty of Scorpio Sky and Joey Ryan. I would say Scorpio Sky and Joey Ryan, probably the most underrated tag team of the year. They've been having consistently really solid matches every month. And Los Luchas, haven't seen them in a while. They were in PWG 2007, 2008. They pretty much used to open up the shows. As you would expect, great lucha athletes. They pretty much pulled off a whole bunch of spots here, and yeah, just another. There's really not much I can say about this, but just another really sweet and exciting match that the crowd was into. Never a dull moment in this match. Just really sweet stuff. Next up, you have Ricochet versus Chuck Taylor. You kind of had like a Dragon Gate USA showcase match here, and this is the thing about it. This show felt like an all-star show. And with this match, kind of a little bit of comedy. The belt was actually hanging from the rafters the whole show, so Ricochet was trying to show off and jump and try to see how close he could get to it, and then Chuck was trying to do the same thing. So that was kind of funny. It was kind of sloppy. It was kind of, there's going to be some people that hate this. Ricochet, for as athletic as he is, he doesn't get a lot of fan support in PWG. I don't know. The fans just don't like him as much as you would think, considering his athleticism. Chuck Taylor definitely the most over guy in this match. And, Excalibur was saying how Chuck Taylor has the potential to, kind of take Chris Hero's place on the indies, which I could totally agree about. But yeah, just sweet stuff. You had Ricochet kicking out of the Awful Waffle, and the crowd went crazy. You had Ricochet, pulling out DDTs, 450 splashes, shooting star press, everything. Chucky Chucky was great as well. I definitely think he's pretty much, you know, the total package right now. So, yeah, great stuff. Next up, we had the Young Bucks versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Davey was actually on commentary in this match. He kind of came off like he was coaching Kyle like throughout a lot of the match, which was pretty interesting. But, yeah, Young Bucks and Cole and O'Reilly, I'm going to say probably the best series of tag matches anyone's had this year. They rocked the house at Best in the World. You know, if that had finished, that probably would have been match of the night maybe. And then they just had an awesome match on ROH and HDNet from this past week, which I advise everyone to go check out. You know, don't sleep on the ROH television show. This week it was fucking awesome with the whole Steen and Carino situation as well. But yeah, this was better than anything they've ever done before. Just great stuff when you combine what these guys can do and you put them in the PWG environment. I mean, it was just crazy. They just rocked the house. Awesome, awesome stuff. Everyone needs to check this match out. Pretty much just as good as Cole and O'Reilly versus Leaders of the New School. Might have even been better than that. Just really, really awesome stuff. Davey came out at the end and, you know, really put over Cole and O'Reilly, which is great. Main event, yeah, Kevin Steen, El Generico, PWG title ladder match. Now, the funny thing about this is Chuck Taylor was on commentary, and he said, oh, man, whoever booked this match is a dick. You know these guys are going to kill each other. So I thought that was pretty funny. And, you know, what can I say? I mean, you pretty much got the same exact effort. And this might have even been a little bit more brutal than the final battle match. Just a lot of questionable bumps in this match. Steen took like a million suplexes on his head on top of the ladder. Just crazy stuff. You know, there was an awesome, you know, brain buster on the top of the turnbuckle, which was crazy. You know, obviously had Super Dragon return and the Young Bucks interfered. So just a very emotional match. Just, you know, definitely a match of the year candidate. Probably PWG's match of the year. Without a doubt, you know, I'm still craving to see more of Kevin Steen and El Generico, and this definitely delivered. So, like I said, guys, PWG Steen Wolf, definitely the show of the year. All right, so yeah, let's do a quick review of Chikara Cibernetico, the animated series. Really big event for Chikara. You know, some of you guys might not know this Cibernetico event is one of the big annual things that they do. It's really cool, and I kind of have an emotional connection to it because this is the first, in 2009, that was the first show for Chikara I ever saw. So yeah, you know, if some of you guys were disappointed with Survivor Series and didn't get your fix from the elimination match, then I would definitely recommend checking this out because these elimination matches are a lot of fun. And I would say this year's was fun. It just couldn't follow last year's emotion. You know, the BDK versus Chikara blow off. Well, not really blow off match, but you know, it was a heated rivalry at the time with BDK versus Chikara, and that Cibernetico match was a lot of fun and just really probably Chikara's match of the year. So you know, while you're watching this match, you were kind of thinking, oh man, this just doesn't have the heat that last year's had. That just kept on crossing your mind over and over again. It's kind of like if you watch Uma Thurman and John Travolta dance in that movie Be Cool. If you watch them dance in that movie, you kind of think about, you know, Pulp Fiction the whole time. You're thinking about, oh man, the scene in Pulp Fiction is so awesome compared to this. It was kind of one of those things. But yeah, this show, it was okay. You know, don't look at the star ratings and think I'm crapping on it. I know some people are going to be thinking I'm underrating it, but I still thought it was fun. I would still say this is definitely one of Chikara's better shows of the year, and you know, a lot of it had to do with the opener. I really loved the opener. You had Ophidian of the Osirian Portal taking on El Generico. Sweet stuff, you know, just a lot of sick counters and reversals, and you know, fast-paced action, great near falls. The crowd was going ape shit. I mean, definitely, I would say Chikara's opener of the year, and possibly the indie opener of the year. I thought it was that good. I think Generico and Chikara, they fit like a glove. You know, it's a great combination. You know, it's a shame that Generico doesn't come in more often because, you know, if you want to find someone that has that Chikara type of look, but at the same time is an amazing wrestler, you know, Generico's definitely that guy. And, you know, he just works great with, you know, some of these guys that Quackenbush has trained. And I would like to see Quack versus Generico. So if Quack and Generico ever had a match, this kind of got me thinking, you know, that could be really awesome. I don't know if they've ever faced before, not to my knowledge. But yeah, I mean, the middle of the show was kind of bland. You know, you had the Bravados make their Chikara debut, which was kind of mediocre. I mean, it was okay. Yeah, I mean, really don't want to talk about the middle of the show. You had Chuck Taylor actually come late from Dragon Gate USA with his street clothes on, and him and Fire Ant just had, you know, really not the match that they could have had. I would definitely say that. But yeah, the Cibernetico match, you still had, you know, the Chikara versus BDK storyline, kind of a little bit watered down compared to last year. This was all about Tim Donst. I would say Donst is really, out of anyone on the indies right now, he's really, just, taking it by the throat and just making the most out of his opportunities. He's really just on top of his game right now. I mean, he's losing weight in the ring, but I'm talking about just on the mic. On the mic, there's no one that can really touch him. At least in Chikara right now. I mean, maybe Eddie Kingston, but yeah, Donst is just on top of his game, and he really came off legit throughout this whole show. So yeah, definitely a great showing from him. I mean, this is okay. I mean, really, the only thing that was really memorable about this in the middle of it was Delirious. Delirious actually turned babyface. You had the Young Bucks in there who really are great for this type of match. They really, carried, I wouldn't say carried a lot of it, but they really just made it interesting with their athleticism. They really stand out in Chikara. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, really not much to say. I mean, like I said, during the whole match, it just didn't feel as spectacular as last year's, which was really tough to live up to. So I would just say that. But yeah, just one positive you can take from the thing. It was still a lot of fun. It wasn't dull at all. It was really easy to sit through. It was just a very entertaining. I'm just not going to say it was great. Overall, Sara Del Rey actually won the Cibernetico, which I'm very happy about, because I really thought she had a lot of momentum. I thought she had so much momentum that I thought she probably was going to end up competing for the championship at High Noon. So I'm glad that they actually had her win this thing, because I think that's a great way to keep her momentum going. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll see a Sara Del Rey versus Eddie Kingston match for the championship in the future. Yeah, don't sleep on the show though. 7.5, I would say. Still a really good show. Even though I give the main event 3.5 stars, it's a fun hour-long 3.5-star match, which you can have a lot of fun with as well. It just doesn't. It's just very, very. I would say a little bit dull compared to last year's, which was the match of the year.